and welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast, where we explore how technology, AI, and cybersecurity are reshaping the way we work. This segment of our tour, we are back at it again, live in London, interviewing top IT leaders. Each episode, we're going to bring you insights from real leaders and industry experts on how organizations can navigate today's challenges and unlock tomorrow's opportunities. From making sense of complex data, to simplifying IT environments, to delivering real business outcomes, Lenovo is helping businesses of every size reimagine what's possible. Join us as we dive into the future of work. Work Reborn. Let's go. Thilo, how are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. We've had you on the show before. We're happy to have you on again. Just very briefly before we get into our conversation, why don't you tell our listeners or viewers who haven't heard of you yet a little bit about what you do at Lenovo?
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to. So I run the digital workplace solutions sales part for Lenovo on a worldwide basis. That means I have dedicated teams of experts in that space where security is only one element of that, what we're providing to our customers.
Right. So we've been focusing on cybersecurity, AI readiness as a topic overall, especially within the latest release of the Work Reborn report.
Yep.
And I've been talking to various industry leaders, also on this podcast throughout this event as well, about things that they're worried about, concerns and challenges that they're experiencing. But a theme that I've noticed, there are a couple, but one of the biggest themes that I've noticed throughout our conversations is how important it is to be ready for change, right? Yep. And, I would love to know from your perspective, how is Lenovo helping drive and prepare organizations for the changes that are inevitable and yet to come within various industries in the space?
Yeah, that's a very good question, right? And a very real one, because that is what Lenovo does every day. So Lenovo is known obviously as a big hardware vendor, right? So really coming from the hardware. And the change is system eminent in the IT industry. That means that, a PC or a server as a standalone is not the way how companies buy IT, consume IT. And that means on that journey, which has been going on for quite some time, we adopted over the years very nicely, right? Meaning that besides the hardware side, let's take the digital workplace, so the endpoint from a security perspective, just as a reference, that basically means that, we have been able to expand our portfolio around the hardware. On the security side, we came up years back, something called ThinkShield, right? Which is I think a brilliant name.
It's
right?
iconic. I mean,
It's iconic.
I remember getting a ThinkShield in the college. Actually, they handed them out with the red button in the middle.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So we kind of translated that from the old ThinkPad to the ThinkShield with the red dot in the middle, right? Which then obviously explains, to our customers the value we bring in. Again, to your question on how do we help them to transform is, on the security side, help them to make sure that every component in a PC has been produced and shipped and combined with the other components in a secure way, right? So we can actually track that from a supply chain perspective, on a component level, which is unique. And then secondly, everything what is in the box, right? So from a firmware perspective, so below the OS, right, is clearly something where we can take the pain away from our customers by just having that embedded, as part of the OS as well, right, or below the OS. So that helps to stay safe, right, to have a secure infrastructure, everything below the OS. And then over the years, we expanded that. Between the OS and the cloud, for instance, right, with various partnerships, up to what we're providing today, which is, fully managed security services.
Right. At the end of the day, I think there is so much room for leaders in this space to really differentiate in how they work with organizations and, help bring them into the modern workforce, into the new era, right? But I think people are a bit confused still as to specifically, yes, we are driving that change beyond, Lenovo's driving that change beyond devices. Like, if Lenovo is just trying to, like, are we just trying to get them to buy Lenovo
Mm,
devices?
mm, mm,
Like,
mm, mm.
is this just a Lenovo thing? Or are we more of an agnostic, like, truly partnership and service that is coming to these organizations to be
Yeah,
their full end-to-end
yeah.
solution?
So Lenovo has a great reputation and a great track record in working with the best of breed partners.
Right.
And we are adopting that principle also on the services and solution side. That means that we don't rely or we buy companies, right, like other
Entities would. Yeah.
competitors are doing, but we actually co-develop things, right?
Mm.
And that means that, with some of the partners, they're actually embedded, in our bias, okay? So that we really are able to offer a seamless end-to-end solution, at least to a certain level, end-to-end. And it fits in nicely with one of the biggest issues, what we have been hearing here with talking to customers, which is the integration of various vendors.
Right.
Right. So if you look around here at the Garden event, great event by the way, we have like tons of security specialists, right, on very specific to solve a very
Very
particular,
niche. Yeah.
very niche type company. Um, but the biggest problem companies are having, is they need to integrate them. And as an average, they have like 15 to 20, in some cases to 45 different security solutions. And that makes it obviously very challenging for them. And here's where, again, Lenovo comes into play. If we bring something to the table, okay, in this case to the PC, through the PC to the infrastructure, which helps them, right, with partnerships like Absolute or Sentinel, it's a brilliant way, right,
It
to
is.
embed ourselves in their existing infrastructure and help them to reduce the complexity.
I can only imagine like being a CISO or senior IT leader and somebody on my team every day pitching me a new widget, a new tool. Like, there's a tool for that. I got a gizmo for this,
Correct.
a gadget for that, or
Correct.
whatever, right?
Correct.
But it's not a. I think what I'm learning from everyone here is like there's no one quick fix.
No.
The idea is being sold that there's a quick fix. You got a problem, there's a fix for this, a fix for that.
Yeah.
But from what I'm hearing from you is there are fixes, but who is leading the change and
Yeah.
who is implementing a holistic solution, right?
Yes. And speaking of which, right? So on the holistic solution, there's a lot of pitches out there, right, about zero trust architecture. And then if you listen to the speakers, they're all like, yeah, but it's a concept, okay? It is not a solution. So zero trust is not a solution. So it's not really helping. And there's not a single vendor who is actually, providing that end to end. So again, this is where, Lenovo is pretty well positioned, to take a chunk of that, right, away, as in, you guys are here anyway.
Right.
We are providing the hardware anyway. And whatever we can do to protect the endpoint from the factory up to the desk, to the workplace, right, physically, as well as from an integration perspective, the better it is, right? And this is
Right.
what resonates really, really well.
I think something else I'm hearing is that there are organizations that understand that change is inevitable. They understand at a high level that AI is coming and they need to
Yeah.
do things to, pull forward and push those agendas forward within the organization. But I think there's still questions around the how. Like, I think we talk a lot about the what and the why, but like, maybe can you give us a general example from like a vertical of sorts that we've partnered with that we were able to help them? And we don't need to name names or companies or
Yeah.
anything like that, but like as a use case, for example, whether it's retail, manufacturing, or, food or hospitality, like, what is a way as an example that we can shine light on something that we've done to help bring an organization from lost, confused, needing help, needing our support, to getting the business outcomes that they want?
Yeah. So we actually have a number of customers where we helped going down that route.
Okay.
One being a major hospital,
Yeah.
right? So healthcare. where obviously also from a security perspective, it was quite challenging. Why? Because public sector, hence public hospitals, are very threatened,
Right.
right, by cyber attacks. And they came to us, right, saying like, guys, we don't feel comfortable in the current environment. Tell us what you got, basically.
Right.
Tell me, help me to understand, why you're here, what are you doing, how you can help us.
Right.
And we had a very good conversation with them over multiple
Instances.
yeah, oh boy. I was just thinking it was like 9 months or so,
Yeah, a long
right?
period of time.
A long period of time to really help them to understand what we bring to the table. And one thing was we were very transparent.
Yeah.
We say like, look, this is what we do. This is what we believe is the best, solution for you guys. This is where we are coming from, right? This is where we can really, rely on ourselves to say, this is brilliant.
Right.
And ultimately, we built a CRAS solution for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, or until this time has been unseen in in the industry. So that was good. That was very good.
So it seems like in the space that we are in, we are not trying to provide a pre-formatted like 1-2 solution. Like, here's a way we do it, here you go, this is how it works for you. Like,
Correct.
We're really trying to personalize and customize this to truly solve what's going on within an organization.
Correct. And at the same time, as standardized as needed, right? Because everybody needs that certain level of standardization.
Right.
Because everybody wants to reduce the complexity, and that you need to patch another 15 tools and hold the managed service providers behind it accountable for it and so on. So basically you reduce your risk surface, right? And by doing so, standardization helps, but ultimately on the last mile, there is obviously some integration and customization definitely needed.
I think for me, the elephant in the room is that a lot of businesses are, when they're ready to invest in something, they're like, I'm going to invest in AI first, right? That's like a gut reaction. But cybersecurity is second. How do we get people to understand that you should probably invest in cybersecurity first, and everything else will be, the base will be secured for everything else to follow?
Well, I think it depends a bit, right, on the maturity of the organization. I have seen a lot of very, very mature organizations who have been investing in AI for a long time without de-investing on, or deprioritizing cybersecurity, right?
Like they've been more of a balanced
approach.
approach.
They have a very, very balanced approach, and cybersecurity is actually used as a BAU, right? Like a running engine. That's okay, and I'm sure that there are some brilliant minds behind it, right, to keep it running that way. And then on the AI side, it is more experimental. Okay. So I'll give you an example. For an insurance company, we did an AI trial, if you want, right, an advisory session on claims management. Okay, so basically, how do you detect fake videos if someone submits a claim on a whatever broken window? Okay. So what happened, right? And these type of things are easy, for use cases, right? To identify, is the video real? Does it work? And so on. So there are tons of things, but back to your question, the mature organizations, they have a balanced approach. The ones which are a bit more opportunistic, right, is probably less balanced.
Right. From your opinion, Thilo, what are you thinking that the next few years of focus and objectives should be for businesses as we think about the holistic view of all of the services that we provide, but also on their end, how they should be looking to optimize?
Yeah, good question. So there was one session today, and I think that really hits it home, where they said, we were talking about shortage of talent 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so it probably won't go away in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Right.
Right. The development of AI, of performance of IT, right? Now we're talking quantum computing and so on and so forth. So I think the complexity will stay the same. And to some extent, it is industry specific. From a security perspective, the bad guys are obviously coming up first with, new things, including, quantum type computing. So the industry needs to follow. And so hence I see this, just basically like a perpetual mobile, right? It just continues to be that way, just on a different level.
What roles do you think should be taken more seriously within organizations, or are sometimes not clearly defined when you come in and try to implement a system with teams?
So, I mean, if we're just listening here, the roles are changing.
The roles
massively.
are changing.
The roles are changing. And again, if you look back 5 years, right? Today we have a lot of roles which didn't exist even 5 years ago.
Right.
Look at the two of us.
Look at us. We're doing a podcast at
exactly.
a tech conference.
Yeah. How is that going
amazing.
so far?
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think this will continue to develop. Right. I don't think there will be a shortage of different roles.
Right.
Okay. It's more like things will develop. It's a shift.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me.
Always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Before we wrap up, what's one final takeaway that you'd like listeners to leave with? If they don't take anything away from this conversation, what's the big message you want to send home?
I think Lenovo is best positioned to help companies of all sizes on their journey into the future of IT.
Yeah. All right, well, you heard it here first. And if you're not convinced, which I don't know how you wouldn't be, make sure you check out the Lenovo Work Reborn report for more data and findings on these amazing
and
topics.
check out the Lenovo website /DWS.
There you go. You heard it here first. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you for listening to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. To learn more about how Lenovo is helping organizations transform with AI, cybersecurity, and smarter IT solutions, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure to leave a comment with any other questions that you would like us to discuss on our next episodes. See you next time.
Lenovo.